guys, we are just out here working in the yard. We are going to be modifying our little chicken coop we're making. So I have made this thing super durable, super heavy. As you can see, we got the tin roofing on. I gotta finish screwing it down, but otherwise it's coming along great. And now I'm trying to see how I can install a handle. So my thoughts are this bar, this lovely metal bar I have lying around, it's gonna bolt in here. Then I can lift it. This might be a two-person lift. I've made this thing out of 2x4s. Normally you'd build a coop like this out of 1x2s, a little more flimsy, which would be fine. But I want this thing to last a long time. I want it to survive the winters up here in Canada. And so we're building this heavy duty. Now, I don't have a, whatever this would be, 1 5/8" drill bit, but I did have an 1.5 inches. So we use the 1.5 inches, and now we are going to try to use our little drill grinder here to widen this hole just big enough for our bar to fit. Move our screws out from the dust pile. Let's see how this goes. Jace, how you doing? Michelle, welcome back. We are streaming during the day right now. My wife and kids went for a birthday party, and I figure if I'm going to be working home alone, I might as well be accompanied by you fine folks. And so we are just kind of grinding away here. I need to widen this hole a little more, just a little more, to get this bar through. This is the chicken, kind of portable chicken coop I'm making. Right here. You can also use it as like a kid's lemonade stand. This is where the nesting boxes are gonna go with a fold up lid. And yeah, we got the metal roofing up on it. Like I said, I have built this thing way too tough. This thing is going to weigh 1.5 million pounds, but we've got wheels on the back. And I made a little system so that the wheels can drop down so that snakes and stuff can't get in there and get to my eggs. But yeah, it's a bit of a journey here. And Nepanak, how you doing, friend? And you're live is the whole party. Well, while they're out for a birthday party, they'll be gone for probably 2-3 hours. That's perfect time to live stream. Just widen this hole. Okay. The bar that I grabbed, I'm just using random stuff. So the metal bar I grabbed is probably around 1 5/16", 9/16", something like that, 9/16. But I don't have a drill bit for that size right now, not easily accessible. So we're just going to, we drilled it close enough. Oh, we're so close. How are we on this side? Probably won't be able to tell. So we're just trying to widen the hole using this rotary bit here. Don't know how good of a job it's doing, but we'll get there. What are we doing today? We are working on the semi-portable chicken coop. I call it semi-portable because I made this thing about 800 pounds, but I did put it on wheels. Ah! How hot is that bit? Not bad. Okay, we'll see if this little rotary bit is even going to get us there. I know I'm taking off a little bit of material, but I don't want this to take an hour either. What kind of animal are those antlers? That's a moose. That is moose. We are in far north in Canada. Oh, come on, you dirty bugger. It's close. It's close. We're very close. Yeah, so we got some moose antlers right there. That's how you get a thumbnail right there. And Johnny555 with the verified check mark. How you doing, bud? We are building our coop here. This is a semi-mobile. I've got it on wheels. Semi-mobile because it weighs 1,000,000 pounds. This is for the chickens. In fact, I plan to build 2 of them. Got a second wall up here, another wall back here. But we're gonna start with this first one. This way we can get our chickens and ducks kind of separated. They get along great, so there's no real rush, there's no real panic. But I'd like to rotate the chickens around. See, I do let them out in free range. In fact, they're all free ranging right now. Let's take a little walk over there. I'll show you the chickens. So I do let them free range, but ultimately I don't want the chickens and the ducks to be in the same house. They have different needs. The chickens need insulation, they need heat. The ducks, not quite as much. The chickens like a little bit of a tighter coop. The ducks like lots of ventilation. Here's some chickens right here. Some roosters and some hens. Hey guys. So they're just kind of hanging out. But I find the ducks, they'll all stay very close together, nice and huddled. So they're a little more predator resistant. The chickens, they like to spread out, and so they can get scooped up. But it's looking good, if not super heavy. And if all else fails, this will be a portable lemonade stand for the boys, because look how beefy this is. Look at that, look at that. It's looking good. And Johnny says, I'm also building one, but for my birds. What kind of birds do you have? And Johnny, I see you got that verification check mark. What kind of content do you make, friend? Obviously, you are a big or well-known person, so please enlighten us. I love seeing people with the verification. You guys are the OGs paving the way for all of us. Cockatees, is that right? Cockatees? Right on. So not as big as this or bigger? This has to be the least efficient way to do this. I might even have the right size drill bit somewhere in the garage. I just haven't looked, but oh, it's close. It's close. Oh, I think I am going to grab the. It doesn't have to be that tight either. Although tighter is a little nicer in this situation. Don't take that inappropriately. And Johnny says, I do fitness interviews. Mine is about the same. And DH Nipanik says, it's like we're on a field trip. About the same size. Nice. This one is, so I built it with a perched roof. And I'm very proud of my joints here. Look at this. Look at this bird mouth joint. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? But this one here, 4 feet by 2 feet. It's about 7 feet long, about 8 feet wide. So, yeah. The roof is 8 feet because I didn't feel like cutting the 2x4s. So I did leave myself a little bit of room here to slip in some flashing. I don't have any on me, so I'll have to do that after the fact. Just to stop the moisture from rotting away this edge board, I'll slip some metal flashing that's gonna go in and down the face here. Okay. Ugh. Let's see if we could just use the drill bit, the 1.5 inches here, to widen this up. Just a dude, welcome back. How you doing, friend? It's another lovely day up here in northern Canada. Okay, I don't think that's gonna work nearly as good as my original plan of using this grinder here. So we're gonna use the grinder. Johnny, take care, man. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. making the drill bit work today. How close is that? Oh, I'm trying to, there we go. That is almost good. Ah, where am I getting hung up? That top lip and down there. I can see a couple spots. Ah. This is one of those situations where I wasn't an hour away from town. I would just go buy some better drill bits. But it is what it is. Ah! Dropping all our screws. That's frustrating. Okay, how close? See, I feel like I could tap that in with a hammer. Maybe I should try that after we play 162 screw pickup. Good boy, how you doing, man? And I recently bought a hammer drill. Love that thing. Yeah, I've got a couple. I got an impact hammer drill. Probably the corded drill would make this a little easier. It's gonna have more power. You're gonna get more RPMs. Then I gotta run the extension cord and, you know, use electricity. And being off grid, I try to use as little as I can. I don't know. I guess it's probably 6 of one, half dozen the other, because later I'll have to recharge these batteries. Let's pick up all these screws. Just some roofing screws for the metal roofing. But those vibrations just knocked my container over. I wasn't paying attention to where I had it. Oh well. It's called job creation. Give me something to do here. And this time we're going to set this lower to the ground so that doesn't happen again. Okay. There we go. 100 screw pickup. Set that there. That looks like all of them. Ugh. So, yeah. Just trying to widen this to make this fit. Problem is, if I take a hammer and start banging on this, I worry that I'm going to bust this support here. It's, you know, only supported on the one end, one screw right here. So I don't want to put too much force this way on it. It's meant for lifting force. Let's grind away a little more and see how we make out. Okay, we put a little elbow grease into that one. Let's see what it does. Oh, we are close. At that point, we grab a hammer. Oh, let's go find ourselves a hammer. Oh, beautiful day, beautiful day. If I lose you guys in a second, it's because I'm walking away from the Starlink. Hopefully you guys don't drop the signal here. If you do, come on right back. Let's hop into the garage here and find a hammer. I'll spin you guys this way. And let me walk in here. I don't need to know. Not a normal hammer, but it'll do. It'll do in a pinch. Yeah, this build will be nice once it's done. Okay, this is what we're working on right here. Voila. I'm just gonna try to tap this bar through gently. Oh boy, we're dropping everything. Let's move some stuff. Put that down. This is gonna cause some vibrations for sure. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try that one more time. we're all the way through. There we go. Let's just wiggle that all the way to the other side. We're going to put that all the way to the other side, and that way we can see where we need to drill the other hole. Okay. So, somewhere right around here would be good. Just mark that. Gotta keep it straight. So, where are we having the least friction here? Yeah, right about there. That ought to do it. Let's just mark that. Keep it nice and low center. We'll push this bar out of the way. Richard, how you doing, Richard? Okay, get that out of our way. Switch to the drill bit. Again, if I had an 9/16 inch drill bit on me, that'd be ideal, but we're gonna use the 1.5 inch. I lied. This is a 1 inch bar. That's a 5/16. I thought I was using the 1.5 inch, but that was earlier. Okay. We'll start it from this side. So we'll get this out of the way. And you got a camera person now? No, we are just tripod. Just on the tripod. We're not fancy enough to have a camera person. Just a tripod to hold you guys up and say hi to. Okay, let's drill this hole. Somewhere around there. We're gonna go nice and wide with it, so we're gonna wiggle around to make this a little wider. Switch to the other side and do the same thing. Hopefully save on the grinding. The wind was swaying a little bit. Okay, now we'll take the grinder and we'll grind it. This is the chicken pen? Yes. It's going to be a chicken pen. I'm gonna build 2 of them, basically identical, but I wanna finish this one first and see what things I do and don't like about this build, and then I can adjust accordingly. One of the things I'm worried about is I made this thing so dang heavy. This is like a 2-person lifter to move it. Bear with me, guys. I just gotta drill this. Let's see how close that is. Definitely looks sturdy. Well, I want it to survive our Canadian winters. Okay, come on. I mean, it's looking good. Let's maybe try hammering it through and see if it'll go. through. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. And then the idea, it's more of a two-person lift, but the idea is you'd lifter and roller. So I do have it on wheels, but this thing has to be, I don't know, probably 300 pounds right now. I could lift it and move it by myself, but this is, it's about, I'm not gonna move it far. But the other thing is, I could always use a machine to help. So there's portable with an asterisk. There's no way my wife could move it, but I did put wheels on it. So it does have little baby wheels on it. Both sides. This wheel here is a little bit crooked. Might have to try to snug up that bolt a little bit. But the idea is that it is somewhat portable. Okay. So that's there. That bar is in. And then here's my plan for the door. Portable-ish. So for the door, I cut a 2x4. I ripped it in half. My idea is that if I screw this here and I put a piece of plywood in between this gap, so I'll have a gap here. I could snug this up, have a piece of plywood that goes in here, and then I could put mesh screening on the inside, mesh screening up top, and then have a handle on the plywood. Lift the plywood up, have a little hook here, so that the door can be open, or just let it down for nighttime. And so, rather than dealing with a hinge door, I was thinking just a sheet of plywood should do it. Just a sheet of plywood cut to the right size. From here, it's not going to get much heavier than this, a little bit, because I need to finish out this nesting box now. Thanos, how you doing, Thanos? And Max, how you doing, Max? This is where the nesting boxes are going to go. So I need to finish putting up some wood here. The idea being if I frame in another box on the other side and then put a piece of wood cut at like a 60-degree angle here, I could then have a lid so I could look in and grab eggs. So just trying to figure out how I want to do that. I think what I want to do, plywood across the back, the sides, leave the inside open, and then, like I said, take a board like this, put it up here on both sides, and then have a liftable lid here. So you can lift the lid up, reach in, grab any eggs. It's a little bit of a steep angle, and I haven't finalized this yet, so I might adjust this. It might be, I don't want it any lower. So I built this like 14 inches by 14 inches. So 14 inches around. So each of these pens here, 1, 2, 3 pens, nesting boxes. They're about 14 inches depth, height, width, and that should be plenty for the birds to get in there and use them. Is this your first pen build? It is. Well, kind of. Let me show you my other one. But this one was for ducks. And so ducks are a little less particular in the sense of they don't need big perches, although this worked out perfectly for it. But the ducks don't need nesting boxes. They lay on the ground just wherever. So I've got this one over here that I built for the ducks. That one's a lot bigger. That one you walk inside, stationary mind you. And then I built this one here for the rabbits. Well, I got to fix the doors. And now this one here is going to be for the ducks. Now this, I have a bit of a weird plan here. So what I want to do with this, I've got this guy. I'm going to build a second one to match it. And I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll probably only insulate and heat one of them, and the other one will just be for their kind of yard. So I can use them both to move them around wherever, but then come the winter, I can butt them up side by side and use, have one of them insulated and heated, the other one open so that they get that airflow and a little bit of a yard. And then I also want to combine this yard with the ducks yard so that they kind of can all hang out together. But yeah, the Wattle Inn, I call it. It's the duck log cabin. So this one's doing its job. I'm gonna lower it down to the ground because I don't need to keep it raised up right now. But this is kind of the system I built for this. So I put a wheel on a log, and I've got a nail in here. See if I can get that out with my hand. And now that goes down, and then the nail can just sit right there. And I can do the same thing to the other side here. Got a nail there. So kind of the same thing. Kind of, which way do I want to go? That way. Take the nail out, lower the whole thing to the ground, slide the nail in. And now it's back fully on the ground. That's kind of the idea. It's kind of the idea. Now, it's gonna have to keep it on relatively level ground. Doesn't raise it very high off the ground, but you don't want the chickens getting out or weasels and stuff getting in. You don't want to leave it. If I just put the wheels on it, and there's always this much of a gap, you could do that, but I'd have to use metal netting to skirt around the bottom. Otherwise, things will get in. I might still do that, just leave a little bit of skirting to drag on the ground. But at least this way with the retractable wheels, it can sit nice and tight to the ground when it's not moving. So you just lift it up on the back wheels, grab it over here, lift and pull. I am picking up a skid steer this week, a track skid steer. So if I don't feel like lifting this by hand, I could always just use that machine to drag this around the yard. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. So now I got to finish out this nesting box section. So we've got this guy here. I might have to, just for my own sanity, because it's not even, I might have to just come and grind that off. But for now, that'll do. And then, like I said, I'm putting the door over here. And because this is a portable coop, don't mind my crazy beard. What are you doing over here? Because this is a portable coop, I don't need to worry about being able to get into it and clean it. That OCD. I don't have to worry about getting in there and cleaning it, because once it gets a little dirty, I'm just gonna move it. I'm just gonna lift it, move it. And so that's kind of the plan. That's kind of the plan. And creating change. How you doing, creating change? Hope you're doing well. I hope everyone here had a great 4th of July yesterday, and everyone's having a good day today. We got a lot of work ahead of us here, just trying to think and plan. Because I'm just building this one off kind of the top of my dome, everything takes a little extra second, because it's not like you're following a plan or a blueprint. You're just kind of thinking about what logically will or won't work. And so, like I said, I worry a little bit that based on this height here, if I have the door flapping open here, that's not a lot of room to get your arm in there. And so I'm just debating if instead if I run a backboard here, I think if I run a backboard here so that any eggs and hay that are right up there, they're not going to fall out the front. So if I run a backboard across here, and then I just have, do I take this whole lid off? I probably want it on hinges so it's not in the way. Just trying to think here how best I'm going to put the wall here, because it would be nice if even if I just hinged right here, I could lift a piece just right here. Do I make this a little bit taller? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if I have just a wall here that's just hinged in the top corner, and that just lifts, that's plenty of room to look in there, see if there's any eggs, reach in and grab them. And I could still have it hinge all the way up to here. I think that's the move. I think that's the move. I think I cut a piece of, I mimic what I did here with the box here on this side. Did I cut this piece of wood is already that tall. So I do the same thing right here. I already have a backstop board there, so I run one across here. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. I think that's gonna work. Just thinking and planning on the fly, friends. And Creating Change says, yes, indeed, looks outstanding, bro. Thanks for stopping by. Guys, check out Creating Change's channel. He is streaming almost daily, and he's putting out good vibes. It's always fun to pop in there and see what he's getting up to. Has lots of guests. Creating Change, feel free to tell the chat a little bit about your channel. Yeah, feel free to drop a plug in the chat. And Du Bois says, hinge the door down towards you, lay flat in front might work. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. So you're saying instead of flipping it up and having to latch it there, just have it hinge at the bottom so it just falls down. So I'll put a roof on this, I'll put a backstop board here, and then I'll just have the door fold forward. And then I'll have easy access in here. That's gonna work. That's gonna work. We'll hinge it down instead of up. That makes sense. See, sometimes it's those little things, those little solutions that make a world of a difference. So I'm sure I would have been fighting with that door and trying to get it latched and all that, especially if the goats are pushing on me and stuff. Okay, let's measure then. So this board here, I'm gonna want it to be roughly, we don't want it to be roughly anything. We want it to be exactly, I guess, yeah, I still want the backstop board. I want the backstop board primarily because I don't want eggs falling out. So that's 41 1/4. 41 1/4 inches. Let's do it. And yeah, I agree, Du Bois. Thank you for the advice. Let me grab a 2x4 here. I got one lying right here. Let's not use that one. I got some screw holes in that one already. Let's just grab a fresh one. Okay. We'll cut this to 41 1/4. We'll cut this to 41 1/4. And then I will read out Creating Change's message. Give me 1 second. $41 1/4. Cool, cool. DJ, what's happening, bro? We're working on this guy today. Gotta get this buttoned up. So this board here is gonna be a backstop. Let's make the pretty side out. Then look how rough that 2x4 was. So that one will go right there. Perfect. And now if I'm going to mimic that on the other side, I think that's a 12-inch board. We got, what is that, less than 12? Oh, I probably took 1.5 inches off. It's 11 1/2 inches. 11 3/4. 11 3/4. Okay. We're going to cut one to 11 3/4. And Creating Change says, so this is Creating Change's YouTube channel. It's always good vibes. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, good vibes with Guy and Shine. We do music, commentary, and interviews at times. Different topics, but always good vibes. Thank you, man. That's awesome. You guys put a lot of work, a lot of effort, and I'm sure one day here you guys are going to blow up and it's going to do super well. You guys definitely know what you're doing. Looks like high production value, that's for sure. Okay, so this one, what did I say, 11 3/4? Sounds right in my head. We'll try that and see how it fits. Dusty. And yes, it's coming along. I got the metal roofing on there. I got the whole thing framed in. We just put in the lifting bar, albeit the thing weighs probably 300 pounds. So she's heavy, but it'll work. Okay, so this one here is gonna go here, with this one going in here, like that, ish. somewhere around there. Okay, let's switch drill bits on the drill so we can actually install that. And I think a squirrel just threw something at me. Squirrels are throwing pine cones at me. Okay. Let's get this going here. So I think I want to move this guy out of my way, move this board here, get it nice and lined up. We're just going to tack it in the corner for now. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Actually, we'll wait on this side. And making too much noise for the squirrels. Seriously, they're legitimately throwing pine cones at me. My dog was up on the roof of this thing chasing the squirrel earlier. Okay, let's try. We'll secure this to this. Oh boy. Just trying to think about the best way to do this. I should grab a drill bit and pre-drill some of these holes so I don't split the wood, but YOLO. Oh, it's gonna split. It's gonna split, but I'm gonna commit. I don't really care if it splits a little bit. It's not like it's a structural piece. It'll all hold together in the end. When you throw enough screws at it. I need one extra hand. Can anyone from the chat just give me a hand for a second? Anyone want to fly down or up to northern Canada and just hold a 2x4 for me? Okay. Let's just utilize some friction here. Good. Take a few more screws. And then we can tack it in a little bit on this side. Okay. Good. And one more. And what are we saying in the chat? You need one more arm. You'll be done with both pens by the time I get there. I mean, that's what I was hoping. We're going in. Let's go inside the pen for a second. We'll come in here, make sure we get this screwed in nice. I started this 2 weekends ago, but I was only able to work on weekends, and we ended up going camping with a group of people last weekend. Oh boy. And so yeah, we didn't get a chance to finish it last week, but we'll get her finished here this week for sure. Okay. Whew. Slowly but surely that is looking nice and pretty. Let's bring you guys back up. There we go. It's coming along. It's coming along. It's starting to look like a thing. Not just an it, but a thing. That was a terrible angle. Let's try that a little steeper. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Wasim, welcome back to the chat, Wasim. I'm doing well, how are you? We are just working on our chicken coop build here. Making it look a little bit official. The wind is getting a little bit fierce. What did I do there? One screw there, let's put another one in. right there. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So that backstop is only held on currently with 2 screws. So I think we need to come in at an angle and add a couple more screws just so it doesn't break on us. We'll just come on a downward angle into the nesting box. That ought to do her. Nice and sturdy. That ain't going anywhere. Maybe one more corner screw down over here. But lucky chickens I have. The ones that I'm not eating are definitely lucky. The other ones, well, it's their destiny. There we go. There we go. You got to build everything a little bit tougher than you think you would, because when you have children, earlier my kid was climbing on this and jumping off of it. So you got to build everything a little bit sturdier. Okay. Now I think for the door here, we could cheat and just go a sheet of plywood here, sheet of plywood down here, and then hinge a piece of plywood here. And the only problem now that I built this square with having this flat, a little bit of water can pool there. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little stop block in the back here. And so if I put a little stop block in the back, that's gonna cause this piece just to be resting at a slight angle. And that should weep off the water well enough. I think so. I mean, it's mostly protected. It's only gonna be if the wind is blowing forward, that stuff's gonna hit here. In fact, just trying to think here how best to do that. Trying to think how to get a good angle on that now. Now maybe what I should still do is I'm gonna fold up the front, or no, fold down. I'm gonna fold down the front to access the eggs. So maybe this top can still be angled. Let's go grab some hinges and see what we got. Yeah, it should still work. I just need to build it that way. I've got some cheapo little hinges here that I picked up the other day. I think they'll do the job. It's not like this has really got any weight behind it. I will have to put a latch on it because we don't need any critters getting in or the chickens accidentally pushing it down. But so I think if we put the hinges down here, boom, boom, and then the front, so instead of it being squared off, I'll just put a piece of plywood here. Put a piece of plywood here, and then another one down the front. Put one here, another one down the front. Hinge down the bottom and latched. So I think we got to go grab a sheet of plywood and just start cutting it and see what happens. I don't think I need to reinforce this, although maybe I should. If I put some 2x4s there on either side, just to make that nice and strong. Could almost get by with one of them being this way. Well, I could just rip this. Doesn't have to be a full 2x4. It's just for that top piece to be sitting on, and then the front will flap open. I think I'm going to put one stop block, just one little block here, to give me a little more height. I think that's what I do. I think I take a piece, cut it like 6 inches, and that way, let's grab a piece of scrap wood here and just see if you can even use this. So if I'm a little bit higher, so that I'm sitting like that, it's just gonna give me a little more room to look in there. So then this will flip down. Do I think I run a cross member like this as well. I think if I just run a cross member like this, that'd be plenty. If I run a cross member like this, put a piece of plywood on that, and then fold down here, have a little latch there. that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I already cut a piece of wood here. We're just gonna make it 4 feet and 1/4 inch. I've already got a ripped piece of wood here. Does the type of wood matter? I'm just using construction lumber, so spruce pine fir. The problem with pressure treated up here is pressure treated has arsenic in it, and so it's toxic, and I don't want the birds to be around that. So, you know, this will still, instead of lasting 100 years, this will last 15 years. Whatever, good enough. I did use pressure treated for the base. So the stuff that's actually in contact with the ground, right around there, is all pressure treated wood. Everything else is just normal construction grade lumber. I just thought that the section that is actually contacting the ground, I don't want that rotting away on me. Okay, something like 4 feet and 1/4 of an inch is what I want here. Give or take. Something like that. Let's try her out. So, we're just going to come over here. This one here, I don't want to use this one, even though it almost fits, because this I already cut for my door. So that is going in for the door. But if I put this piece here, across here like so, which is perfect, I'm probably gonna want to pre-drill that because I'm gonna split it. I know I'm gonna split it. So that'll be a top member, and then the doorway, and then I'll just put a piece of plywood angled down across here. Yeah, we're not gonna bother trying to get in that way. We're gonna put a piece flipping down here so we could access the individual boxes from the front. That is what we're doing. And Crane Change says, got to get back at it, friend. Looks good. See ya on the YouTube streets. Take care, Crane Change. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Okay. Let's go grab a drill bit, I think, because I know I'm going to split this wood. And it's probably better if we don't. Let's go grab a drill bit. So if you pre-drill your holes, you're less likely to split the wood. The piece we're drilling through is not the one that we're really worried about having the security from. It's the one below. So we want to pre-drill that first block of wood, not the second one. I'll leave you guys here for a second staring at my lovely garage while I just bend over and grab a drill bit. I know where they are, so it shouldn't take me long because they're right here. Just grab the right one. Let's go into this kit here. This will do. Oh, it's smoking hot in my garage right now. She's hot, hot, hot in here. Danielle says, hey, from Somerville, Texas. Well, hello from Northern Canada. Although it feels like Texas today, she is smoking hot. We are just working on our lovely little chicken coop design here. Semi-portable. Just building in the nesting box right now. So we're playing a little bit of farmhouse carpenter with you guys. So let's pre-drill some holes. Just through the top of this block. I'm going to do 2. Just so we don't split it. Same thing with the other side. Let's pre-drill some holes here. Okay, let's get rid of that drill bit. Scorcher there. What's the temperature there, Danielle? Right here, right now, it's probably not as hot as you are. I want to say we're probably like 90 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Somewhere in that 30 degrees Celsius. But this will be a nice little build. It's going to give the chickens some shade. It's going to allow them still to roam the yard. Right now I have them free ranging. And I'll still let the chickens free range, but this will give them somewhere to go at night. It's a lot better than having to constantly clean the current duck lodge that I have all the birds in. There we go. Looking pretty. Right now it's 83 Fahrenheit. We have rain right now. I like that, Coop. Thank you. It's coming along. It's it's not a year-round coop. It's going to be, basically, it's going to be their summer coop and their winter yard. So it'll butt up against the insulated coop later. But for now, I got wheels on the back. It's, I'm calling it semi-portable because I installed a pull bar in the front here, right here. But as demonstrated, to actually move this thing using this bar, she's heavy. And so yes, I also didn't put the wheels down right now, so there's no way I'm moving it right now, but it's probably 300 pounds. So yeah, there's that. But it will be semi-portable. We gotta finish off this roof section. So I think I gotta grab a sheet of plywood out of the garage because I'm thinking I can just put a sheet of plywood up against here, drop down. The door is gonna be here. Maybe I build the door in next. I think that makes sense. Let's grab a sheet of plywood. We're gonna have to start cutting it. Yeah, I'll do some measuring and then we're just gonna rip it with the skill saw. So we'll have to grab the skill saw. Face you guys this way. And I'll go grab a sheet of plywood quick. It's just inside that front door, second door in the garage here. Oh, actually I got it tucked away. This is where I'm going. Just right in here. Just some 1/4-inch plywood. It's thin, but it should do the job for just a simple door. I use 1/2 inch for the roof of the chicken coop. Let's gotta figure out where I'm gonna cut this thing. I think if I put it on top of this build over here, that'll do. And then I'll just grab an extension cord, grab the circular saw, and do some cutting. Okay. I think I can get by with leaving it 4 feet. So I can make this a simple cut, just one rip. A simple rip cut. And dang, that looks heavy but sturdy. Do you have those flip down wheels? Yes. The wheels back here are gonna flip down. And so I've already tested it in a short distance, it works. I haven't tried it long term, so I'm going off of faith here. And then my idea for the door is over here. This is where the door is gonna go. I ripped these boards so that I can slot them in here, and I could take a sheet of plywood, cut it maybe 2 feet by 2 feet, tuck it in there, use metal screening on the upper half, and then the door, just put a handle in it. The door can lift up. I can hang it off of a hanger here, and then when I want it closed, just drop it down. You'll have the screen in the top half and the door in the bottom half. And it'll just be running in this groove that's left here. So it'll slide up and down there, and the netting will be on the back side. It's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. We'll see how it works in reality, but let's do this door. So we want to slide this guy, do some measuring, grab the skill saw and make as good of a cut as I can. Oh. So let's just slide this over, drag it out. We got to grab a pencil so we can mark this. No ego. How you doing, friend? And my 4-foot level, it is over by the apple orchard, so I got to go grab that. It is a hot one, that's for sure. Okay. Hi, Lily. What are you looking? You that squirrel's got you going crazy, eh? I'll make this a little bit bigger. Give myself some room to play. If I go about 15 inches, 16 inches gets me down to that bottom there. We'll go 16 inches. And will 4 feet be enough? 4 feet will be perfect. So 4 feet by 16 inches. So we're gonna cut this 16 inches, this flat. So I'm gonna let you guys stare at Lily for a second. Lily girl. I just need to bend over and mark and measure, but Lily is so pretty, Lily. Okay, 16 inches. It's gonna be good enough. Let's mark this in a few spots. We'll grab a straight edge, we'll connect these marks, and then we will cut it. Okay. Ugh. I got a 2x4 here that looks straight enough. Not like cutting it by hand is going to be a perfect straight cut anyway. So let's see how close this gets. I call that good enough. Okay, perfect. Oh, now I just got to grab the skill saw. Danielle says later, gotta go to Home Depot. Oh, she's going after it. Oh, she went after it. She didn't get it, but she went for it. She says, I wish I was a cat. If I was a cat, I would have got him. That squirrel right up there is just testing her. Well, Danielle, drive safe. And yes, I need to take stuff back that I don't need anymore of what I do. And have a great day, everyone. Take care, Danielle. Take care. Lily wishes she was a cat. Okay. Let's watch Lily try to go after a squirrel while I just go grab the skill saw quick. Let's make sure that wind doesn't knock us over. Don't go on the roof, please. You're gonna scratch up my roof, girl. It's right up there. I know, it's tempting. Tempting. Lily, don't go. You can't get it. Even if you go on the roof, you're not going to get the squirrel. You're not going to get him. You can't jump that high. You're not Air. I never should have showed you the movie Air Bud. You can't do it. You can't. Lily, you're going to fall and hurt yourself. No, thank you. Okay, Lily, you just keep some eyes on that squirrel. I gotta grab the skill saw. Lily, down. I know, it's teasing you. I've got an extension cord there And we're back. Oh, Glory, how you doing? My dog is going nuts over a squirrel that's up in here somewhere, right there. Can you see it right in the center of the camera? She sees it, she wants it. We are just working on the build here. So we're just framing in everything we need to frame in so we can finish this up nice and quick. So, put the skill saw down and grab the extension cord. Let's plug the extension cord in. It's a giant tangle. Oh, Lily. That squirrel's gonna drive you crazy, isn't it? Right. Should be good. And the other end, right here. Okay, plugged in. Whoop. Okay, yeah, so it's coming along good here. It's coming along. We're just gonna frame in the door that I'm gonna hinge there to flap down. So let's just rip this guy. Adjust our blade. Oh boy. This mount, how does this mount on there again? It's coming off. We should just let it come off. Okay, we don't need that. Set that down right there. Adjust our blade because we do not need that much cutting depth. Let's make sure it's slid out far enough that we're not going to cut the board that's underneath it. And let's do a little bit of quick cutting here. Okay. It's gonna get loud for a second, friends. Always when cutting plywood with a skill saw, make sure to engage the safety squints. Don't need to get a piece of wood in your eye. So this piece here that I just cut is going to end up going on here. And I'm going to hinge it at the bottom so that it falls down. And then I'll put some sort of latch at the top. Why do they make these packages so impossible to get into? Gonna need to cut that. Gonna need a knife. Or not. He-Man, master of the universe. Okay. 1, 2, and I think I lost the screw right there, one of them. Must have lost a lot more than one though. Only one remained. Okay. There we go. Hinge. Hinge. Two screws there. Where did all the other screws in that package just disappear to? Shibba-dibba-dib-boo-boo. It's always the struggle of working out in the yard. Okay, I see one screw there. All these little tire poppers, so that's 4 screws. And there should be 8. Should really have a magnet with me when I'm doing this kind of stuff. And that way I'm not going to drop screws all over the yard. Put that one there. Where did I lose the rest? It's like Where's Waldo, except a billion times harder. You'd think it wouldn't be, but it is. Let's make sure. Here's the package. There's no more screws in the package. Nope. One. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got them all. My eyes dialed in. So now I got to get a Phillips bit. So we're gonna have to go to the garage for that because we are currently using our Robinson. How you doing, Abby? My wife and kids are out at a birthday party and I'm here trying to get stuff done. So I figured why not live stream while we are working here. Okay, I'm just gonna hop in this disaster of a garage for a second and find a Phillips bit that's gonna work with this. Somewhere right in this bin. There's some locks that might work. Some more screws, don't need those yet. All sorts of little bits and gizmos here. But it looks like that's a flathead bit. That is not the bit you were looking for. Okay, what about in this container? That might work. That will work. Now I don't know if I can make these work. Put those down. It's not quite what I want. That's not what I have in mind for a latch. There's so many little bits and pieces lying around everywhere, so trying to figure out what I'm going to use to make everything work. It's just all up in the air right now, but bit by bit we'll make this work. Abby says, I'm doing good. I just hopped on YouTube while tanning. I am just rocking a farmer's tan galore. It's easier to show this side. Don't feel like burning while I'm working in the sun. Ugh. Of course, I'm wearing all black again. Yeah. I hope the weather is good for you there. We were on tornado watch last night, and we never got it. And it's a beautiful day today, so I will take it. Okay. This hinge. We're gonna put it. Come on, Betsy. This hinge is gonna go right around here somewhere. We'll hope for the best. Michelle says, stop showing off that farmer's tan, please, or don't. It is a gnarly farmer's tan. Okay, 1, 2. Now the other side, and then we will screw that down on the bottom and see how it works. Probably use beefier screws for the bottom. Let's flip you guys around to this side. Okay. I might even have to upgrade these hinges altogether. These are pretty poor quality hinges. It's just something I had lying around. I think extras from the rabbit hutch. But let's just readjust that. Okay, there we go. Okay, Abby, you have a good tanning session and we will talk to you soon. Okay. This piece here is gonna go right like so. I think I need to grab another small strip of plywood to go into this board here if I'm gonna make this fold over and down nice. So let's rip another strip. We'll rip another strip of plywood off of here to make this work nice. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just gotta work. So we can take a piece of wood here and we can kneel on that. Use that as our guide to make it roughly the same on both sides. Oh boy. Okay. Set our. So I only need, what do I need? Maybe a 2-inch piece, something like that. So if we're at about 7 inches, 7 inches there, 7 inches over here. And we'll do our best just to keep that straight. Always cut. Our little guide piece. Good enough. Good enough. We'll tack this piece in. We will run that. Let's see where we want to run that. We'll take the pencil and we'll mark it. So this piece here is going to run down here at the bottom. Something to bite into. Okay. Let's try to hold this level enough. Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. I just marked it, except I didn't realize I busted the end off of that pencil, and so nothing went onto the wood. So we need to grab another pencil. Throw this one down, grab another pencil and try that again. What a hassle. 1 second. That's why you don't keep your pencil in your back pocket and you keep it up in your ear. That way you don't bust the lead off the end in a critical situation like that. So let's hold that up and try to mark and measure that one more time. So we're going to pin this down, not up. So this is going to go here, like so. Okay. So then this support board, if I do that, as long as I hit on the, okay, take the nice edge there, right about there. Oh. Just looking at what I got for screws here. Okay, let's go take a quick look in the garage and see what we got for screws lying around in the garage. Actually, in the back of my truck, I have a container of screws that'll be perfect for this. So let's grab those. Somewhere back here, and actually, don't remember what I bought this latch for, but it might be perfect. Now this is a gate latch. Would this work in this situation? Probably not. No, this is a sideways gate latch. It's not going to work. Got a couple of those. A whole bunch of those. Okay, I think down here, right here. These screws ought to do. This should get the job done. Okay. I'm gonna have to switch back to the other drill bit quick. Set that one down right there. Then we'll put some of these screws in here just to hold this this board in place. One, two, three, four should do it. Okay. That's gonna go. Almost there. Okay, something like that. So this now is something to bite into, rest on. Might just use the bigger screws here for this. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, so because those screws there on the backside are a little bit too big, I'm gonna have some grief there. But it will work if I just drill some holes in behind it just to give those screws somewhere to go. Just carve out the wood a little bit there. That's what we're gonna do. Ugh. Okay, my random boxes of miscellaneous junk and parts. A lot of metal, extra metal chain. I don't think I'm going to want to use that. Some electrical parts. some longer roofing screws. See what we got just chilling in here. Okay. Got a through bolt here, but that's not going to really do anything for us. Concrete anchors. Not seeing much of use there or there. I mean, when in doubt, metal wire will get the job done. So we'll set that aside just in case we end up going that route. Anything too good in that one. Some fishing tackle in here and a lot of gloves. Countersink bits. Nothing that's going to work in that box. Nothing in that box. What about over here? Nothing in there. Nothing good in here either. Okay, the search continues. What about in this bag? Whole lot of miscellaneous parts in here. Nothing immediately jumps out as useful in this situation. Okay, we're gonna go back into my toolbox of shame. We're coming back here in the back side of the garage to see what we have hiding over here. We're gonna find something creative that's gonna work to hold up this door. There's gonna be something in here somewhere. Some knobs. That's just screws. It would help if I turned a light on, but we're not going to bother because we're just looking. Well, there you go. That's just about exactly what we need. Wish I had another one in here, but that'll do. That'll do for now. Okay. So, can always add another one later. So we got a nice little locking hook here to close up the door. So let's go see what we got. That's why we keep a little bit of everything on the homestead. That way we don't have to run into town whenever we need a part here or there. So, here's where we're at. We got the door folding down here. And then lifting up here. And then I'm thinking we're gonna wanna screw this in nice and tight. Drop that down to hold it. Is it gonna work? How do we wanna do this so that it works? This handle out of our way. This has to be screwed into there. Ideally, if I had two of them, one on each side. And then I could just Let this drop down, one on one side, one the other way. That's gonna slide in. So let's just do one side for now. Let's do one side for now. So basically, screw this in here. Come on. Let's get started with this one. Do. I think if we take our drill bit, we're gonna have an easier time with this. Our drill, which is on the roof. Maybe that's not gonna work that way. Thought I could make that work, but I don't think I will. It's not gonna work, is it? Worth a try. Elsa, how you doing? We are monkeying around out here, just having it. We're building our duck coop, or chicken coop, I should say. Our semi-mobile chicken coop. And so I'm trying to just get this started as a latch for the door here. So we got the door right here. I'm going to put a latch on either side just to make sure that nothing's going to pry its way into there. So a latch on either side to hold it nice and tight. And I'm thinking if I do a hoop latch on both sides, should do. We're gonna try it and see what happens. But I'm having a hard time getting it started in the corner. You know what? A thinking man uses a drill bit to get himself started. And I have drill bits chilling here somewhere. And so why am I not doing that? Ugh. The good old expression, work smarter, not harder. How you doing, Darlene? Wife and kids are out at a birthday party, so we're just doing some work around the homestead. Okay, now that that's started, that should be easier. Let's get that going. There we go. We'll try this and we'll see if this kind of a latch works for what we're going for. Okay. And then if we want this to swing in, we're going to want this. We're going to want this somewhere right around there. Try that. Brian, how you doing, Brian? Let me just screw this in and then I can engage with you guys a little better. Work is overrated. It's for the silly. Well, you always got to get stuff done. I've got a homestead here. I got 156 acres and Brian, trust me, my wife is not out cheating on me. We've got 5 sons and she took them all with her. You think that a kid knows how to tell a lie? Certainly not 5 of them. Certainly not the youngest. And so no issues and no worries there. Plus I trust her. But we got to get this put together. This is our semi-mobile chicken coop. Come on. Almost need this to be on a bolt. instead of a screw in, especially for this. Just got attacked by a pine cone. Okay, let's just drill that right through and hope for the best. Hope that I got some bite. Yeah, we're good. 1 second, I'll review your message in a second. We got a chat filter on here for people like Mr. Brian. Okay. So that. Let's turn that in just a little more. There we go. Okay, so now the door is latched. And I want to add one more latch just like that on the other corner, but I don't have one with me right now, so I'll pick one up later. We got a little friend, a little bug friend. And Brian, I will allow that message to show, but let's try not to swear. I know you're messing around, Brian. Yes, we got a little bug. We're gonna let him fly away. But yeah, so anyway, this is coming along. So we can just pop the latch, let the door down. These I'm gonna put dividers on each of these so that you'd have a nesting box for the chickens. And let's just make sure we get this latch on here right. Which way do you go? Oh boy. Oh boy. How did I think I had it the other way? Must not have. Question mark, question mark. Oh, totally did. There we go, that way. Okay. Then I'm thinking of putting a handle here because why not? Why not, even though you don't really need the handle. It's kind of just something I got lying around, so I might as well. Okay, let's switch out this. Just to make her look professional, let's do that. And Gustavo says, what's up, man, from Brazil? How you doing? We're in northern Canada here, just plugging away. And Elsa says, I think every woman loves a working man. I hope so. I have a wife with 5 children, and so I'm gonna say she loves me very much. That's always something to do. We've got 156 acres out here, and we live on a homestead. I've got chickens, ducks, cows, goats, rabbits, and pigs. Let's put this right about here. Ah! It's not the right size bit for this, so it's a little wobbly. Okay. Do we let the OCD kick in? I think that me dropping that screw was a sign that we need to actually measure where center is, and not just wing it. Oh. So, let's do that. Let's do that. And also says, I and my hubby have 6, 3 girls, 3 boys. We got you beat. We love kids. That's awesome. Good for you. We have 5 boys, 0 daughters. Okay, so center is going to be around 2 feet. This thing is 7 inches, so 3.5-ish. No, it's closer to, oh boy. It's closer to 6.5. So that would be just shy of, so 3 1/4. Well, 3 1/4 inches, so 2 feet, 3 1/4 inches. Would be center. Two foot, 3 1/4. So somewhere around there is actually center. Okay, good enough for me. Just mark it. And try to put a screw there. Oh, come on. I'm using the wrong size drill bit. So we gotta fight with it, but once we get the first one in, the rest will be easier. Bear with me 1 second. Like that. Okay. Oh. And Elsa says, you're a lot like my husband, good vibes. She's a lucky lady. Well, thank you, I appreciate you. My wife's the one who's in charge of the animals on the homestead as far as which one she wants to get, which one she wants to keep. And I just deal with the infrastructure and the butchering. So we make a good team that way. She's actually started helping me on butchering rabbits, which is huge because it's a lot of work. Okay, one more screw for the handle. And then what I'm gonna have to do, and I'll probably just do it later, these screws are gonna go right through to the top. So the screws poke out on this end because I'm just using 1/4 inch ply right here. And so I'm gonna wanna grab probably, what do I got there? You know what, we're gonna do it right now. Too often you tell yourself you're gonna come back and do something right, fix it later. But I might as well just do it right now. I've got a piece of board over here on the ground and we'll cut it. This is, it's gonna be about a 1/2 inch thick here. That should be plenty thick. We'll cut it and we'll use that as a backstop for those screws. And that way the kids aren't gonna poke themselves when they're out collecting eggs. So let's do that. Let's bring this board over to the chop saw and get this going. Set you guys down right about there for a second. Don't need much off of this. That ought to be enough. Just a little backstop so that those screws aren't sticking out, poking anyone. That'll do just fine. So we're going to put that in. So we'll back these screws off just a hair, so they're not poking through anymore. And then we can set this board right here. Actually, if we do it from the inside, we can kind of button it up nice and tight to the top and then lower it down a hair. Oh boy, that screw is stripped. But it'll work. Okay, there. Now we've got just this little piece here. Just a little backstop so that the screws aren't sticking out that end. We are making some progress here. It's coming along. Put the latch. And now I just need to build. I need to use my brain and I need to build a cover here. So some sort of cover here. And I might just go with another sheet of plywood screwed up to the top and just resting on an angle. Maybe screwed into the top here. So it'll rest down here, screwed in. I don't know. I don't think I need to frame it. I don't think I need to worry about framing in these corners at all. Like, this is rock solid. This isn't going to be taking any load. I will have to make sure that this latch is nice and tight because we don't want any rain just coming down this crack. Let's measure and figure out how big of a sheet we need to cut here. And angle spacers, it might make sense to put another piece up top here and have that roof overhang a little bit. I think that does make sense. Like if we took a piece of wood, just a small block, or maybe that whole length again. Maybe. Do we go that whole length so that it keeps it up? Let's grab that other piece of wood because it's going to be almost the right size. Let's grab that piece of wood. That'll get it up, and then we can have a little bit of an overhang ledge without it catching. It's a good idea. Okay. Thanks, Elsa. I appreciate having someone cheering me on. So if we put a piece up here, this piece up here, and then put the plywood, it can overhang a bit without getting in our way. Let's do that. Pre-drill some holes in this guy, and then we'll send it. Elsie, you got any plans for the day? Anything crazy going on for you? That ought to do. Find the drill bit I've been using. Should we do up right here? Okay. We'll just put some screws in this top running board. That's going to allow the plywood to overhang a little bit so that the rain doesn't go right into our shelter. There. And also says, pulling weeds, laying cardboard to prevent weeds, and planting roses. My favorite color is pink roses. We have a bunch of just wildflowers. We haven't planted any garden yet, but that'll be awesome. Good for you. We've got some pink, I don't know if they're wild roses. They don't quite look like normal roses, but they might be wild roses. What did I do with my measuring tape, friends? Dropped it on the ground. Okay, so now this piece is going to be about, if we go, so it's 12 inches to there. How do I plan to secure this on there? Am I gonna butt it up there and then notch it out around there so I can go a little bit tighter to the top? We could go all the way to the roof with this. If we go all the way to the roof, we're looking at about 16.5 inches. And we would have to notch out .5 inches, and then I'd have to notch out around each one of these, which I can do. It'd be a hassle. I have to use the oscillating saw, but that would work, and it would give me nice and tight against the roof, and I don't have to worry about coming back in there and and capping those off. I think that's the move. We get that in there, we get that nice and tight to the roof, we screw it down there and there. We go about 16.5 inches on the plywood. We could probably make it, do we make it 16.5 gives me a little bit of an overhang lip. We could go 17 and still should be able to clear it. Okay, 17 inches it is. So we're gonna run 17 inches off the plywood. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Try to hold it together. It's not happening, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, yeah, let's get this done. We're gonna flip this plywood around. Let's flip the plywood around because we've already got a good cut edge on the other side, and then we don't have to worry about our cut getting a little janky on us. We can throw that board over there, grab our plywood, flip it over. And then grab our pencil that we've been hiding in our ear. Let's go 17 inches. This is starting to look like a legit coop now. We're getting there. We're getting there. That's looking good. Got to mark and measure out 17 inches across the board, connect the lines, and free cut it with the skill saw. So 17, 17, 17. We'll grab our trusted, mostly straight 2x4. Measure that across. Draw our line. Set that down. Oh. And then we got some cutting to do. Now we got some cutting. Thank you. It is starting to look good. Okay. I always have something to do with 6 kids and a house to make pretty. Yeah, my wife is also far busier than I am. Like I said, she's at a birthday party with all the kiddos, and that is certainly the harder job than just plugging away here building stuff. At least out here I can hear myself think. Okay, do our best to rip this fairly straight here. We're going to use our safety squints. Bear with me 1 second. We've got a little bit of a roof piece, so we're going to take this, and now we're going to have to mark with our pencil. This piece is going to go in here. And we're going to have it go Okay, if I cut it, if I rip a hair off of this side or either side, if I just rip a hair off, I can get to the inside of this 2x4. Then I'm going to have a weird little triangle I got to fill in there. Kind of the same thing with this side. We're just on the inside of that roof joist. So if I go there and there, I end up hitting the roof joist, but probably better if I slide this over here, and then I'll just fill this in with another sliver. Let's do that. Put this here, I'm going to need to cut out a piece there, and there, there, and there. Let's grab the carpenter's triangle, wherever it's hiding. I know it's around here somewhere. Shooby-dooba-ba-ba-ba. Saw it earlier. There it is. Draw those straight lines. And I don't know if it's harder. Me and my husband traded positions for a week. I like my position better. I think everyone, you know, that's the difference between, I guess, men and women. We have our predispositions. I could not be as good of a mom as my wife is. And I think it would just take her a long time to learn the skills that I've spent time learning. It's kind of good for both people to have their own roles. So this is going to be about 3.5 inches. We're going to want to cut out 3.5 inches out of here, roughly. It's on angle. It's not straight, but it's on angle. So we'll go 3.5 and we'll see how that works. We'll notch that out 3.5, and we're going to notch out this half 3.5. Shibi Bapa. Can't help but sing to myself when I'm thinking, or the thoughts aren't coming. Okay, let's grab our oscillating saw and cut that out that way. We'll grab another tool to get the job done here. The oscillating saw is a super handy tool for tight cuts like this. So let's grab that. I think I've got it. I got the jigsaw there too. That's not as good. Where did I put the oscillating saw? If the oscillating saw is not hanging up where the oscillating saw should be hanging up. The oscillating saw isn't where it should be. Is that it over there? Is that a heat gun? That looks like a heat gun. Let's take a quick look over here. It's a heat gun. Oh, oscillating saw, where did I put you? Well, I can't do it with the oscillating saw because I don't know where I put it. I could always use the jigsaw to get the job done. It's just awkward doing a plunge cut if you don't have to. Where's the oscillating saw? The oscillating saw is the right tool for the job. Where did I put you? I didn't hang you back up. I don't even remember the last time I used it. What language does your husband speak? If not English, per quoi? Espanol, Francais, Nigerian? We speak Pri. Is Pri, would that be, is that an East Indian language? Pri? I don't know that one. We're gonna go in the house and see if my oscillating saw is hanging out in the house. If not, I think it might be out at the feed shed. I might have used it when I was cutting some chicken wire last. I think I used it out here. Haha! That is exactly what we're looking for. Oh boy. Okay, cool. Guarani and Spanish in Paraguay, okay. I was close, I guess, with Espanol. I guess. Maybe not. Okay, this is the tool we were looking for. The oscillating saw. That is going to make this cut a lot simpler. Still awkward, but it'll make it easier. That is loud and dusty. Sorry for the annoyance of that. We got one more to do, one more notch to cut out here. That was aggressive. This way. Right. And then I just need to trim down the edge of this one down a hair. Something like 1/4 of an inch. English is third language to speak to you American people. I only speak English, a little bit of French, but not even enough to say I speak French. Okay, let's rip this board here so that we can finish this off. We're just gonna freehand a cut here because it doesn't have to be exact, accurate, or pretty. So let's just cut some off and see if it fits. Keep about that much off. See if that was enough. Make it fit on the end here. Okay, we got to go a little deeper on that, on these cuts here. If I want it to get all the way up, I need to bring this down. My overhang level looks pretty good like that, but bring that down about that much farther. Something like that. We're going to use the oscillating saw one more time. Most of the world is bilingual or trilingual. We all have a joke is, what do you call someone who speaks one language? An American. I'm actually a Canadian. I'm up here in northern Canada, but it's still true for us too. It is still true for us Canadians as well. We are definitely, we're heavily influenced by our American partners. We don't have that necessity because our borders are so big and vast that we don't need to worry about speaking multiple languages, because it's not like if we travel an hour in any direction, we're into a new country. It's all still the same country. Okay. Bear with me, guys. It's going to get a little loud for a second while I make this adjustment cut. Okay. Oh, so dusty. So much dust in the eyes. I didn't apply my safety squints that time. Okay. How are we looking there? Pretty good. Good enough for me. Okay. There we go. That's slotted in there nicely. And we can just put a couple screws in to tack it down. And there we go. And Blake says, not true, Elsa. And Elsa says, prove me wrong. I think it depends where in the United States you are. I think if you're further south, there's a good chance you speak a little bit of Spanish. And if you're further north, you probably only are speaking English. Don't think I need to bother putting the third one in there. It's not going anywhere. Okay, there we go. Now we got to build out the actual nesting boxes inside here. So in order to do that, I'm just going to take some 2x4s. I'm going to take a 2x4. I'm going to rip it in half on the table saw so that I can slot it in side by side, make a little groove there. I think that's the way to do it. Do I even need to do that, or do I don't want to make this thing too heavy, but I might not even need to do that because I already have the bottom pieces. Something to think about. But I was thinking about taking 2x4s, running them in the middle, and then slotting it, kind of like how I plan to do the front door here. The front door here, got these 2x4s I ripped in half. I plan to set these in here and create a little channel in between this backstop and this board, so I can put a piece of plywood in there, up, down. I was kind of thinking of doing the same thing over there to divide out, to put walls in on the nesting boxes, but I wonder if I even have to. Because I could just run plywood, strip of plywood across the top, and then I do need to divide it somehow. We're gonna go in and pretend to be a chicken. We're gonna see what would we want if we were a chicken. Let's go in through the side and take a better look at this. I want to spin you guys around because we're a chicken. Okay, I'm in here and I'm a chicken. And I'm gonna fly up into my little roosty box over here. I'm gonna try not to hit our head too many times. So, I got the roosting box here. I think I run the plywood underneath just to buy myself a little more room. So if the plywood is, no, I don't want to go underneath. I want to go on top so I have more flexible support. So if I run the plywood across the top, what I probably should have done is put the plywood down across. No. We're okay. We're still okay. The plywood's gonna go right across the top here. And I kind of want to put dividers. or do I put the plywood in between? Run a board underneath these. I run one 2x4 underneath the back. I can put the plywood in there. It's going to get some extra support for these, and then I can run some sheets up. I think for sure we grab another 4-foot 2x4 and run it underneath here. I think that's the move. I think we run one more 2x4 underneath the back, and then the plywood's going to go in these little slots. And then we come up. The problem is, at this point, every piece of wood I add is more weight that I'm adding to this monstrosity I'm building. Eventually this thing is going to be heavy. I can already barely lift it. Not that we have to move it very often, but yeah. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I got to measure how long that is. Measure how long that is so I can run another 2x4 underneath there. That is the move. Yep, it's coming along. Let's grab my measuring tape. Measure across here. I'm gonna need that to be pretty well exactly 4 feet. To save myself any grief, we'll go 47 and a half. 47 and a half inches, and we know it's going to fit. If we do 47 and a half, there won't be any fighting. Okay, I don't have any pieces of 2x4 chilling over here. Those ones look too small. That's not, it might be a 4-foot piece. Let's see if this is a 4-foot piece of scrap. No, it's too small. Nope, that'll do. That is exactly a 4-foot piece. So let's make that 4-foot piece 47 and a half inches. And Blake says, you took the joke from most of the world and made it into a debate. That's funny. Put glue on both sides of timber. Seemed loose. What do you mean? Put glue on both sides of that timber. It seemed loose. Which piece? Which piece looked loose? We've got a screw on this side, but we're going to take our 1/2 inch off of this side. Seven and a half. It'll be somewhere around here. The last piece seemed loose. Are you talking about this door? This door here? Is this the one that you're saying seems loose? This one's good. This one's pretty good. This one here, I'm gonna put another latch on this side so that it's got latches on both sides to hold it nice and tight to the corners. Okay, this one's going up underneath the bottom. You can get some of this dirt off of it. Got a screw there. It's got to come out. Might be able to use that, but we'll take it right out. Okay, we got to do some awkward maneuvering if we're gonna secure this underneath here. I think we're just gonna lie on our back and hold it up and do what we got to do. I knocked some screws over here. Let's pick these up for a second. Get all these up out of the way before I lie down on them and hurt myself. Feeling rather klutzy today. Okay. Just picking up screws. Most fun thing in the world to watch. I apologize. Ugh. We're about to lie on the ground. I don't want to lie on any of these screws I dropped. Just a couple more, then I get to pull the camera closer and talk to you guys. Okay, set that out of the way so we don't drop it again. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay, yes, we're close, we're close. We're close. We're gonna lie down underneath here and screw this bottom board in as a bottom support for these pens. So let's do that. Let's pre-drill a couple on either side to get it started. So I don't have to rely on holding it up the whole time. Two on this side. And let's go under here. Oh. To try to figure out, oh boy, I might have to take those out if I'm going to slide it in there because I got a bottom brace. Okay, let's take these two out or put them further in. Let's take them out. Okay, so I think I need to come from a little further over. Okay, like that. This is working actually pretty well. There we go. Ugh. Okay, now we've got a secondary support board there. And then I just need to fill in the gaps here and then build walls up. So the walls will come up for the individual nesting boxes. That way the chickens have some privacy. It's coming along, we're making progress here. We're making progress. Like I said, I just need to pick up one more latch to make that bulletproof. And then I've got this metal netting. So underneath, I'm gonna run some plywood underneath it and along the backside, but then the rest, like all these sides, is just gonna be that metal mesh, that metal netting, just to give them lots of airflow. but keep predators out. And yeah, just got a little bit more maneuvering to do. I'm gonna have to cut a piece of plywood to come in here on this angle, cover the sides in. Little slots, little squares of plywood in there. But we are getting there. We're getting there. It's definitely a project and a half. Pablo, welcome back, friend. Hello from Chile. It is a beautiful day, friend. Buenos dias. I hope you're doing well. We're just, we're working on this guy. We got the tin roof up. Tin roof. We got the wheels. Building the nesting boxes up front. It's on hinges. So it's coming along. It's coming along. It's time to take a little break and hang out with you guys for a minute while we get a drink. It's a scorcher out here today. It's currently almost 3 p.m. I do have to go into town in a little while. I've got some time, but I've got this thing called Loop, L-O-O-P. It's where we collect the expired groceries from the grocery store to feed the animals, the pigs and stuff. And so, yeah, I gotta pick that up between 3 and 7 p.m. It's currently 3 o'clock. Let's have a little seat here. Oh, beautiful day out anyway. A little hot, but I'll take it. If you guys have anything you want to chat about, now's the time. Now that we're taking a little break from work and we actually have a chance to sit down and read the comments and chat back and forth in a nice, easy way. I have to get a second drink, see what else I want to, maybe some nacho chips and dip to snack on. Chips and salsa. It's kind of calling my name. Let's get something to eat here. Maybe an apple. Some mango. Let's munch on an apple. And let's grab the phone charger. Bear with me, guys. Set you guys looking that away for a second. Plug in a phone charger because we're getting low on battery. And Katie's bunny, Cade's bunny, how you doing, friend? I'm trying to figure out how to set you guys up here in a way that we can chat while the phone's charging. Maybe this position will do. There we go. Just taking a quick break here. Try to wipe the camera because you guys are all, oh boy, that was worse. Having that bright light behind me is rough. Trying to see what happened to the curtains. My wife was saying something broke on these. And it looks like they don't go down evenly. I can't tell what exactly broke. Interesting. Anyway, how you guys doing? I wish I didn't have this big light behind me. I'm getting a ton of blur on the screen. 1 second. Try to clean that up a bit. It's still awful. Put these in my mouth. It's a little better, although it's still pretty terrible. And Elsa says, I'm blind. Sorry, I just ate you. Well, having a quick apple break before we get back out there. And nachos is also always good in Paraguay or tacos. Apples are okay too. I might do both. I might go get some nachos too. But an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Something like that. Always so many projects to do. So we're getting close to done this coop, but I want to build a second one, so that's another weekend there. I need to finish roofing the barn. It's close, but not done. I want to side the barn with good siding. I want to install a couple custom windows. So I need to build, I've got some panes of glass, and so I need to build some window frames to have that glass set in. And then I can install some windows in the barn. And then I can side around it. And Elsa prefers cherries over apples. These are just so accessible and they're so easy to eat. Zara, how you doing, friend? Oh boy. Oh boy. And Elsa says, your main objective is to protect chickens from fox, coyotes, and hawks. Exactly. The Wie geht's dir? I do not speak German, friend. English only, sorry. Yeah, the ducks I'm a little less concerned about if I let them out in the yard because they all stick together. But the chickens spread out. And so the, hey Abby, did you have a good tan? MB Austin, how you doing? And Zara says Dutch. We're taking a little break. We're eating an apple. Letting the phone charge a little bit before we get back to work. The coop is getting very close to done. It's 3 p.m. today. I probably won't finish it fully till tomorrow. Just because I got to run to town in a little while and grab some expired groceries from the grocery store to feed the pigs and the cows and stuff. And yes, I'm going to the rodeo in a little bit. That's awesome. We don't have anything fun like that up here. We don't have any rodeos. And Elsa says, he's Canadian, Zara, only one language. You know the drill. Je ne parle pas le français. I do not speak any other language. Anglais only. Ah. So, a little bit about the property here. We live off grid. I've got 156 acres. It's a peninsula, so the water goes all the way around. I've got cows, pigs, ducks, goats, rabbits, chickens. Did I say goats? Goats, ducks, goats. Just homestead style. It's not a full-scale farm. Just a handful of every animal. I've got 29 chickens, but probably next week I'll have to look at culling off the excess roosters. So we'll see how many we're left with after that. We've got currently 15 ducks, but we're hatching another 30. So I have 30 more ducks hatching right now. Same thing. You eat these surplus drakes, the male ducks. So we'll see how many layers we get left with after that. We're talking about getting 2 donkeys next year. Well, what I want to do is, we're talking about breeding donkeys. Donkeys are very expensive. Donkeys run about $2,500 for a weaned donkey, a juvenile weaned donkey, about $2,500. And so we're thinking if we get a female next year, then the following year a male, then the following year we can breed the two, and then we can start breeding donkeys. Donkeys have a very long gestation period, pregnancy period. Donkeys are, their gestation period is 12 to 14 months. Elliot, how you doing, Elliot? Where's my boyfriend? My wife is she's out of town for a birthday party right now. And so we're just chilling. We're working on our chicken coop right now. Taking a little apple break. And we'll get back to it. It's all good, Abby. I'm not offended. I assume at the rodeos, there's lots of good meal options like turkey legs and things like that. I just assume in my head if it's anything like this kind of way, a rodeo would be like a fair. Various food vendors and stuff. I got to think about what I'm going to eat for supper. I should probably pull out some steaks. Cook some steaks up on the barbecue. We're almost done our apple. Okay, I'd say that's about done. Do you guys ever eat the whole thing? Seeds and all? I have before, but it's not very appetizing. Oh, I think we go take a little break and we go check out the chickens and ducks and goats. And I'll take pictures and post it in YouTube and our group chat thing. Awesome. Awesome. If you see anyone get thrown from a bull, I expect there to be pictures or videos. Elsa says, enjoy life, my friend. You as well. Are you heading out now? Okay. I think it's about time to get back to it. What are we at for battery percentage? 24% battery. Have to tend to the 6 kids. Okay, Elsa, thank you for joining us. And have yourself a great day and or night wherever you are. Take care. Thank you. I appreciate you coming around and sticking with us. Avery, I'm doing well. How are you doing? Avery, where are you from, Avery? We are up here in northern Canada. We're just taking a little break, eating an apple. We just finished our apple. We're about to go back outside and keep working. We are working on our semi-mobile chicken coop. I call it semi-mobile because I built it like a house and it is super heavy. But out in Missouri, did you have a good 4th of July? Good long weekend so far? I think we're going to grab a drink and head back out there. Maybe keep working for about another half hour. See what we can finish up. And Abby says, our friend that is with us right now, he is competing on a bull or a horse. He's not sure yet. That's awesome. Well, I wish him good luck. Avery says, yes, I did. How about you? Up here in Canada, we don't celebrate 4th of July. I did get on the live stream last night, but in Canada, we celebrate July 1st as Canada's Day. We are not independent. So you guys have Independence Day, separation from Britain. We are not separated. We still have a king, and so we do not have Independence Day. Fun fact. Okay, we can unplug the phone and let's go for a little walk outside again. Let's grab a drink and go outside. Oh, let's get back to the grind. The problem with having a bad back, a sore back, is it's so hard to get up when you take a break. Ah, dropping our pencil. Okay, let's grab a drink from here. Okay, I'm going to show you what we're working on. Maybe we'll take a quick look at the goats and chickens and such. Would you ever think about moving states anytime? I plan to never leave this property. If I can live a long, healthy life up here, I will. It's my own little piece of paradise. It's hard to find anything like this anywhere else in the world. Let's check on these animals. Hello, bunnies. How you doing, bunnies? We good in there? Look at them little fluff balls. Can I have a goat yet? I can show you a goat. Wherever they're hiding, I think they're in the barn. Let's go see where the goats are. Oh, chickens. Holy chickens. Well, you guys like the barn. I wasn't expecting that. Now where'd the goats go? Goats! Nittany! Come here, goats! I assume they're somewhere in the field out here. Come here, goaty, 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 goaty! Come here, goats! I might have to take a walk and go looking for them. Okay, so the chickens are in the barn. Let's go find the goats. Oh, there's the ducks and a couple chickens. Hello, chickens. Zoom. Shivani, how you doing? I'm gonna take a little walk here and see if I can find my goats. I don't think they're out of the fenced area. I think they're in here somewhere. The chickens and the ducks are free ranging. We also have a lot of wild strawberries and raspberries going on right now. And so if I show you here, some wild, where are we? Strawberries right there. So this little guy is a wild strawberry. There's a whole bunch down here. This is a little dwarf berry or raspberry there. Little strawberry. All edible, of course. There we go. Some wild strawberries. I'm truly blessed out here. My farm fields are just full of wild berries, full of strawberries, full of raspberries. Me and the goats, we get to eat well. Speaking of goats, we're gonna go look for the goats. We're gonna see if they're over the hill here. Normally they come when I call them, and they didn't this time. So either they found a good raspberry patch or they're not even in here right now. No, I see them. I see them. Goats, I was calling for you. What are you guys doing back here? Hi, guys. Hey, goats. Hi everyone. Hello guys. Could you guys not hear me over the wind? Hello. Hey Evie. Hi Faye. Elsa. I think Elsa has to be our fastest goat by far. Every once in a while she gets the zoomies. Just the dude says, I am watching it. Scary. I've never seen it. It's the one with Pennywise, the clown. Is that right? Let's graze the fields a little bit back here with the goats. Right here, some wild strawberries. So, yeah, right down here, we got some wild strawberries. Come here, goats. Elsa. These are wild strawberries and they're delicious. Delicious. Evie, anyone want one of these? Anyone? Anyone? One for me. Here, Mimi. 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 Eat it. You're ignoring me. You're ignoring me. Elsa. Elsa. Evie. 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 Have a strawberry. No. No. More for me, I guess. Okay. I'm gonna leave you guys be. I'm out here grazing in the fields with my goats. The strawberries are delicious and they're everywhere. In the back fields back there where the goats haven't been, there's thousands of them. But they catch your eye when you see them. It's hard not to stop and pick them. So, little strawberries. They're a quarter the size and 4 times as juicy as a normal strawberry. And they are everywhere in here. As you guys can see, all these little red berries. Anyway, we're gonna keep walking. We're gonna head back and get working. Oh, it's so tempting to stop and eat a berry every 5 steps. I like that the chickens have found the barn. And they're just hanging out inside the barn now. Keep walking. My cow, I'm getting my cow back this week. Here's some wild raspberries all over here. A whole bunch of raspberries. Also delicious. And then strawberries. What a time to be a goat. The field's full of strawberries and raspberries. It's delicious. Oh boy. Hi guys. You following me? And the chicken. You guys haven't figured out how to get on the roof yet. Hey everyone. Oh boy, don't pee on camera. And, oh, Evie, Evie. One day you're gonna be too big to jump up on me like that. Hey, Faye. Oh, you're gonna run away? Oh. One of my cats jolted awake and slapped the other one for no reason. They'll do that. Faye, don't jump up on me. One day you're gonna be too big. Yes, Avery, here they are. The goats and the chickens. I went to the fields and I went on a mighty journey to find them for you. Hey, hey, hey. No fighting, you two. Don't chase the chickens. Hey, Faye. Faye, you don't have to walk away from me. Here's the ducks. A bunch of the chickens are on that side. Hey, ducks. TLCB says, new subscriber here. Love how the goats ran to greet you in the fields. You saw that, eh? The goats are adorable. They're a blessing. They're my favorite animal out here, although these guys are growing on me. I mean, it's hard not to like the ducks and the chickens. We got the Waddle in duck house, and we're currently working on another one for the chickens so they don't have to share the same space with the ducks since there's so many of them. So I'm currently building up that one right now. And yes, this one is glued to my hip. Hey, 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 hey. Be nice to Evie. Mimi wants attention. She says, no, he's mine. Mimi, you know, you don't have to be a bully. I can give you guys both attention. Throwing headbutts. Throwing headbutts. Urgh. Your big horns. This is gonna show my ignorance, but before I got goats, I didn't realize that the horns have nothing to do with gender. See, with deer and moose and animals like that, it's always the boys that have horns. But with goats, it's just genetic. Most goats have horns. Every once in a while, one will be what they call pulled. They'll have some genetics in them. That means they don't have horns. Old Orion over here, Big Daddy, he doesn't have any horns, but every other one does that we currently have. Just not our male goat there. Oh, Lily, Lily! There's a squirrel on my house. Lily, it's gonna attack you. It's gonna jump on you, Lily. That was close. She almost caught it. Okay, goats, I'm gonna leave you guys alone while I go get to work. She almost caught that thing. We gotta highlight that. How do I highlight that? I think, yep. Oh, you stay. Yeah, that was surprisingly close. That squirrel was just on the side of the house. And then when it jumped down, the dog almost got it. So this is what we're working on, guys. You can see where the image is going, where we're coming with this. So we've got the nesting boxes are gonna go in here. So I'm gonna build out nesting boxes, boom, doom, doom, so that we can collect eggs. So you can just reach in here, grab your eggs, lock this back up when you're done. So going to be 2 latches. Right now I just have the 1 latch there, but I'm going to have a second one in this corner. I built this pull bar here so that you could actually lift it. It's on wheels. So you fold the wheels down and then you can lift and drag it. I'm going to build in a door right here. And I still need to screen the whole thing in. So I got a bunch of rolls of metal mesh here. I'm going to have to go around it. I want to use some plywood underneath there, on this side, on this whole side here. Tommy, welcome back. No, it's just a normal squirrel, but it's a young one, so it's adventurous. Here it is up here. Let's see if I can get it on the camera. Right there. It's having a micro heart attack because it knows how close that was. My dog was chasing that squirrel. That squirrel was on the side of my house and it jumped and my dog almost got it. Yes, it's a semi-portable chicken coop. I don't want to go and say it's a fully portable chicken coop because the thing weighs about 300-400 pounds. But 2 people can easily lift it, or using a machine. If I use the skid steer I'm getting, I'll be able to just lift and drag it. What kind of dog do I have? I've got a German, sorry, I always do that. I've got a yellow lab, golden retriever. She's hiding under the house now. Her name is Lily. I had a German Shepherd Husky, but she passed away this past year. So every time someone says, what kind of dog do you have? I always go to say German Shepherd Husky because I had that dog for 9 years. Lily's a 1.5 years. Okay, let's keep this grind going. I'll probably come back with the chainsaw and rip these parts off. I built it with a little extra overhang when I put the double header in, just to be safe. But my metal roofing comes just to the end, so I don't need that. The one thing I got to think about, so I think I'm going to put the metal netting on the inside actually and not the outside. The outside would give it more strength, but the problem is when I got things like these wheels here that slide down, if I got the metal meshing running along there, that's not going to roll very well. It's going to catch on the netting. It's probably better if I put the netting on the inside. The plywood over here can go on the outside. This is going to be tighter when there's a latch right there. So I got to put a piece of plywood cut in here. I'm going to need another little strip in here to block that off because this is a little longer than 4 feet. So my plywood top there didn't quite stretch, but it's coming along. Coming along. Got to think about what I got to do next. Tommy says, my favorite dog is a Dalmatian. I have always owned one. As a child, I loved the animated movie 101 Dalmatians. So I feel in love with Dalmatians because of the movie. Silly, huh? No, I bet you there are a lot of people. The Dalmatian, I'm sure the value of Dalmatians skyrocketed with those movies because after those movies, everybody wanted a Dalmatian. How is it as a dog? I heard that Dalmatians were kind of a tricky breed. Okay, do I install the plywood in everything on the inside? That might make life easier. And plywood and my netting and everything on the inside. As far as a door goes, I've got some strips here that I ripped. I'm planning to put them inside here, make a little slot groove, and then just slide a piece of plywood in there that I can lift up to let the chickens out. On the back side, it'll be metal screen. I think that's the move. Oh, sorry. I always wanted to own one. You should get one. Go for it. There's no time like the present. Okay. So I need to really figure this out. Squirrel, don't jump on me, okay? You jump on me and I will shoot you. I'm gonna need to cut a weird angled piece in here to seal this triangle gap up. So I think I take a square piece that's going to be, and then I can just mark it and cut it from the inside. So if I go 10 inches by, okay, 3 feet. So if we just take the full 4 feet piece, so we're gonna rip a piece off of here, off of this piece. This is the piece I'm working with right now. I'm gonna go 10 inches wide, and then I'll mark and I'll cut around what I need. So we'll mark a 10-inch piece. Something like that. Grab our good old trusty straight edge, mostly straight-ish edge. And we'll slide this whole piece forward. Oh. We've got to plug the right tool in. Bear with me 1 second while I cut this piece, guys. Okay, then I can take this piece. We'll hold it up to here, and then I'll mark it from the inside and cut it. Okay. Ever ate squirrel? Random question to ask. I have a friend who went to Louisiana State University for college, and he said in Louisiana they ate squirrel. He said it wasn't bad, as you think. So fun fact, I do hunt and eat squirrels. That is something that I regularly eat in hunting season. So not till the fall. But yeah, they taste good. You just skin them, gut them, and then barbecue them. They're good in the oven or barbecue. I like them baked. I have done them in the pressure canner, but I think they taste better if you just bake them. Put a bunch of seasoning on them and just, yeah, eat them off the bone. FYI, don't worry about not keeping up with the comments. You're busy working, we understand. I actually enjoy watching people do various projects around their house/land. I appreciate you, man. But I will try to keep up. I've never ate squirrel. What's it like? I don't know how I would describe it. All I can say is it's not as bad as you'd think. It's just protein. It's not super flavorful, so add some seasoning. But yeah, it's just a lean protein. Chad, how you doing, bud? We're just we're working on the chicken coop, the semi-portable chicken coop. I call it semi-portable because it is on wheels, and I do have a lifting handle over here, a bar. But this thing weighs probably 400 pounds, so semi-portable because it is heavy. I built this thing like a house. This way you can jump and climb on the roof if you want. With our Canadian winters, we get a massive snow load, so I wanted to make sure this thing wasn't going anywhere come winter. So that is what we're working on. I'm going to hold this up to there, and then from this side, we're going to mark it here. And then let's open up this door so we can get to the inside because we want to cut it. Oh boy, hold that back up. Okay, I want to cut it here. Come on, you bugger. Let's reach my arm around there. Something like that. So now I can cut out the triangle I just cut and seal in that end. It does look good. I got the metal roofing on it, and we're going to use metal screening. We're going to use a mix between, we're going to use plywood and metal screening for it. So what you want to do is when you've got a coop like this, I'm going to use plywood to cover up maybe the first cell here, maybe the first two. just on this one side, and then underneath here. And that way they have 3 sides, a roof, and 3 side coverage to stay out of rain, snow, wind. But then you want the rest to be open with screening to allow lots of airflow. So it's kind of a combination between both. You want to give them some shelter, but also some airflow. Normally you'd be building this out of like 1x2s instead of 2x4s. The 2x4s, this thing is going to stand the test of time. It's going to be super sturdy. I use pressure treated for the bottom boards that are going to be in contact with the ground. Everything else is just standard lumber, tin roofing. This thing should last a good 10-20 years. She's heavily built. The only thing I can see failing on it sooner rather than later is the wheels, just because the thing's so heavy. But you're not using the wheels often. The wheels are going to stay in this upright position, and then I actually did a thing where there's a nail there, and what happens is you lift the board, that sets the wheel, and then you put the nail through the hole, and that's going to get it raised up. But she'd be heavy. She'd be real heavy. Let's cut this piece of wood that we just did here quick. How do we want to cut it? Where did I even put it? I put it on the roof. Okay. We'll just cut it right here. And are you going to build a rollout nester? What do you mean by rollout nesters? I've got these nesting boxes here, so I'm building nesting boxes right attached to it. Okay, let me just cut this piece. Spin it around. Trying to cut it without cutting through to the actual pieces I'm working on. That door is just held on by hand. Let's cut it up here. It's advised to wear safety glasses and not just squint. But this piece, is it the other way? This piece is going to go right there. Probably just like that. In fact, if I'm going to do that, I should cut it a little smaller so that it goes on the inside. So this edge here, I measured it if I was going up here, but that's not what I want to do. I want to tuck it in. So let's put it there. And let's just take a little more off the inside edge here. Something like that. I'll take a little more off that edge so it can tuck up and in there. Just like that. Voila! We have our sealed inside. Beautiful. Just like that. And we can screw that down. I love the sound of power tools. Reminds me of my dad's garage as a kid on Saturdays, watching / helping him build various things. Some for fun, some for household reasons. Avery says, I eat squirrel too. And have my kids ever eaten squirrels? They have. They will eat it with me. My wife, not so much. And I'm chilling at home watching some Major League Baseball. I am a huge baseball fan. Cincinnati Reds versus Philadelphia Phillies. I'm from Philadelphia, so I'm a huge Phillies fan. And Chad says, you extend the area where the eggs go. They roll down to the area where you can be on the outside of the coop and the eggs. Okay, so what I've done here is just, so the coop builds out that nesting box a little farther. And then I put in a hinge door here so that I can just reach in here to get the eggs. So I didn't do like a roller thing. Maybe I should. It's almost too late for that, but maybe I could. I'm not going to. I'm just gonna have it so that the nesting box is there so that I can just reach in and grab the eggs. I see what you're saying though, that if I put that on an angle, the eggs would roll to the front. You know what? I'm building 2 of these. Maybe on the next one, that's what I'll do. I'll redesign how I do this nesting box so that the eggs roll forward. I believe that's what you mean. Tommy says, I'm sure doing all these various projects can be very relaxing. I know for my dad, it was very therapeutic for him. Avery says, good job. And Chad says, you would need to cover where the eggs go to protect them. Yeah, so put it on an angle, have an extended tray out so that the box is on a bit of an angle so the eggs roll forward, and then that's in a protected chute where you'd lift up the lid there and collect your eggs. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. The idea I went with here was just, I'm gonna have divider walls in between each one of these stalls. And so I would just flip the door down, reach in, grab the eggs. But I see what you're saying too. Let's slam a couple screws into this to hold this side on before I forget. So we're just going to move you guys right here. And we'll just put a couple screws in to hold this side on. And one in the bottom somewhere around there. Ooh, we just missed. We went just below. There we go. And I gotta do the same thing on the other side. Where will they sleep, the chickens? I'm going to put I'm gonna put across from one end to the other a 2x4 that runs the whole length of it as a perch. So I'm hoping that they'll utilize that perch. Otherwise, you know, honestly, I haven't thought too much about if they need more than just the perch. Here's the chickens over here right now. I'll show you where they are. Got some of them hanging out right here. Hi guys. Is there a roosting area? That's what I'm talking about with the perch. So there'll be the nesting boxes and then the perch running all the way across the top. And Tommy says, now here's a random question. Something I've always wanted to know. When the chicken lays eggs, is there anything you have to do to the eggs to make the eggs like eggs to eat? How's that work? If I think I understand what you're saying, when the eggs come out, you just kind of give them a little rinse, a little scrub if you're gonna eat them quickly. And they're good to go. Just throw them in the fridge if you don't want them to. If you have roosters like we're gonna have and you don't want to have a blood spot in them from them being fertilized, you just throw them in the fridge right away. So yeah, for the roosting area, my plan is just to run a board from one stud there all the way to the other side, kind of like so. run this all the way across. Like that. So maybe a little lower, but somewhere in here like this all the way across. Does that work? Does that make sense? Every board I add is adding another 5 pounds of this thing. This thing is getting heavy. And Tommy says, how long do you have to eat them before they hatch? They're not, so it's not so much that they're gonna hatch without the chickens sitting on them. Like it's kind of actually a small window of time. So the eggs themselves, they'll be fertilized if there's a rooster, but they won't develop beyond much of a blood spot. They're not going to develop into full chicks unless the chickens are sitting on them and taking care of the eggs. But if you're eating them every day, they're not going to get to that point. I have 30 duck eggs in my incubator right now, and it's quite the process. It's like a 28-day window of having to keep them at elevated heat and humidity in order for them to hatch. So you're not just going to get random chicks hatching on their own. It's also, the roosters tend to go into, we'll call it, and the hens, we'll call it going into heat, more fertilized eggs in the spring. Throughout the summer and that, they're not all going to be fertilized. And Tommy says, I love eggs. It's just one of my favorite foods, not just for breakfast, but just in general. I can eat eggs any time of day, and I love all different egg types. Nice. I love eating the eggs too. The duck eggs are bigger, a little creamier, but I'll take it all. I'll take it all. Right now, the chickens and ducks live together. So we're building this just to separate them. And Tommy says, I'm a city boy from Philadelphia. I'm used to going to the grocery store and buying eggs. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's 99% of people. The chickens over here, oh boy, we're zoomed in. I let them free range during the day, so they're just all over the yard. So they're on both sides of the fence. Hey guys, we got a rooster over there. But these hens, they're on both sides of the yard, kind of doing their thing. You guys can't squeeze in over here. I really don't think you can get in. And of course the ducks are over here as well. Here are our ducks. So the ducks and the chickens get along quite well. Hey guys. You guys are kind of waddling away. You're gonna go have a swim in your pool. What are you saying? What are you saying? Do you use mite control if you get them in the US? So I'm in Northern Canada. We do still get mites. We use diatomaceous earth, DE, diatomaceous earth. And so we kind of spread that on all the animals and in all the enclosures. It basically dries them out, dries the area out. And that way you don't have mites. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our phone charger here so we can keep this stream going. Lily, come here. Let's see how good Lily is. We're gonna tell her to sit and stay. Sit, stay, and stay. And we're gonna go grab a phone charger and see if she stays the whole time. Lily, stay. 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 Lily, you didn't stay. Lily, I had so much faith in you, girl. It's okay. Probably when I open the door, you're like, he's never coming back. He's never coming back. Did she do a good job? Did she stay for a little while at least, guys? Throw that charger on there. Voila. And 6% battery. We almost let that die. Tintin. Hey, Are you an F to M transgender? No, sir. I am an M to M. And TLCB says, do you find chickens laying eggs while free ranging? So they will. You will lose some by letting them free range, but for the most part, you wait until sunrise. If you wait until sunrise before you let them out, and then you put them back in before sunset, you're going to collect most of them. The ducks will drop the odd egg. Same thing. Basically, what I like to do is rouse them up a little bit in the morning, and then I go about doing my other chores. Abby, I'm like here all day, man. This is like gonna be like a 4-hour live stream. We're just chilling. My wife is out of town. I'm working here, just hanging out on the homestead, doing, some building. So yeah, we're gonna be live for a while. I do have to go to town before 7 o'clock. It's almost 4 o'clock now, because I got to go pick some stuff up. But yeah, basically, if you kind of rouse the ducks and chickens up a little bit, do your other animal chores, then come back and let them out. Once they get moving, just like you got to have your morning constitution, you kind of stir up their activity and they'll drop the eggs. So that's kind of how I like to do it. You tend to get most of your eggs into their nesting box or into the duck house for the ducks that way. Wake them up, get them moving, then come back and let them out. Do you use an iPhone or an Android? I am on iPhone. This is streaming from my iPhone. When the iPhone 17 comes out in probably September, I will probably upgrade. I've got some gnarly cracks on this one. I have dropped it a few too many times. This is, I think, an iPhone 14 Pro Max. So come the 17, I'll be due for an upgrade. And CP says, good stream, man. I've got to tuck mine in their coops. Laters. Take care, CP. Thanks for joining. And Chad says, wood ash helps mites too. Interesting. I will have to start saving my wood ash from the winters. I want to save it for the garden as well. My net is slow right now. My net? Your internet? Apollo and Layla. Hey, man. How's it going? I drove all the way to JFK Airport and back, and you're still live. Dedication. We're just out here. I don't normally stream this long, Apollo. But it just goes to show how long this build is taking while you're sitting here chit-chatting at the same time. So this is the coop I'm building. We're getting pretty close. We're at the finicky part. That's why I'm kind of hesitating. I'm going to have to put the metal mesh netting around. I'm going to have to plywood underneath in some of these tight spots. In fact, we should do up in this corner as well. Let's bring you guys a little closer. So we're going to do the same thing. I think I need probably another 10-inch piece here. The phone charger wants to fall over, so let's move that somewhere around there. So I'm probably going to need, let's measure this. It's probably 10 inches like the other side. We've got to wall that side in. And then I need to do one little strip in here that I couldn't get with this joist in the way. So 10 inches, 10 inches, 10 inches. 10 inches will do. It'll stick out a little bit up here. But I think that's fine. Let's just move this out of the way for a second. See how this is? Yeah, 10 inches will be fine. So I'm going to cut another 10-inch by 4-foot strip, hold it up to here, and figure out where I need to cut it to make it all pretty. Yep. And then I'll put another piece maybe over top of this one, overhanging a little bit. So let's go 10 inches. Do I do that first? I think I do that first. No, let's do a 10-inch piece first. So 10-inch strip. We're going to cut that. But first, Tommy says, I'm an Apple guy. iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple Watch, AirPods, the whole 9 yards. I do have the iPhone, iPads, the MacBook, and AirPods. No Apple Watch. I've had smartwatches and I've had nice, like, decorative watches, gold watches and stuff. But I'm not the kind of guy to take stuff off before I go and do work. And I'm always doing work. And so I scratch the heck out of that kind of jewelry. And so I just can't see myself having an Apple Watch because I'm just not gentle enough on my things. I was talking to another YouTuber there yesterday, Kermudge in Alaska. Awesome guy. I was talking to them yesterday because on one of their videos, one of their friends had some Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You know, the glasses that you can video record. The footage was phenomenal. It looked just as good as my GoPro. So it's shooting 1080p video. But again, I couldn't have glasses like that because here I am cutting wood. Right now I just do safety squints. But, you know, I'd be getting sawdust all over those glasses. I'd be ruining them. And I can't be bothered to switch. I mean, I can't be bothered to put safety glasses on. How am I going to be bothered to switch out my Meta glasses? They're very cool, but just not for me. What came first, the chicken or the egg? The chicken. The chicken came first. And Chad says, as long as you've got a good area for them to kind of hide when they lay eggs, that they most of the time will always lay in the nester. And Tommy says, I'm a huge watch guy. Whether I'm using an Apple Watch or a cheap digital watch for work, regardless, I always wear a watch. I've tried, but then I always have my phone on me. And so when I want to check what time it is, I just check my phone. I've never gotten used to that. This is just a bubbly. It's a mango bubbly, sparkling water. It's very good. TLCB says, interesting, thanks. I raised 100 chicks, of which 98 were laying hens and 2 roosters, and never considered the possibility of some laying eggs while they were out free ranging, but had a lot of eggs. That's fantastic. I have 29 chickens right now. And then we have 15 ducks, but we're hatching another 30 ducks. So, yeah, we've got quite the army of them starting. Last year we had a bunch of ducks. Last year we did 23 ducks, and of those 23 ducks, we ended up with 18 males, drakes. So we only had 5 layers. And so over the course of the winter, our pesky fox ended up taking them out one at a time. You know, he'd find one way into their house. He'd get one. The dog would scare him away. I'd find a way to patch that up, and then he'd find a different way in. And just over the course of the winter through the spring, he ended up getting them all. But now I think it's pretty bulletproof. Famous last words, I know, but I think it's pretty good. Tommy says, do you drink alcohol? Obviously, I don't mean while you're working around your land, just in general. I don't. It's not that I'm against alcohol per se. I used to drink. When I went through university, I used to drink a lot, like most young adults. But no, what ended up happening is when I had my first son, I made a rule that I was never going to drink at home when my kid was home. And so I would only drink if my wife was out of town or I was out of town. And that's kind of how I ran it for a number of years. And then once COVID happened, I was out of town for a work conference. Sorry, I got sawdust up my nose from cutting wood. Ugh, and it's itchy. So I was out of town for a conference. The last time I drank was November 2019. That was the last out of town conference I went to. And then the world ended. The conferences all stopped for like 3 years. And at that point I hadn't drank for over 3 years. And so once kind of everything went back to normal, I decided if I haven't drank for 3 years, why start now? So now just more of a fitness thing because I haven't drank. I just choose not to drink. And Chad says, we would always put ash in our coop on Ash Wednesday, and that is good for the whole year. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense, because I guess if you're going to get mites, you're going to get them in the spring. That's when we had them, was the spring. And that's a great baseline. I love that. I love that, Chad. That's a good thing to do around the house. Yeah, good to raise awareness with the kids and, you know, give them a little bit more appreciation for God. That's cool. I like that. And Tommy says, I used to drink. Yanglang Lager was my choice of alcohol. I don't drink anymore. I gave it up. I wasn't an alcoholic. I just didn't like how it made me feel. I'm not against it either. I feel like that's a pretty common thing. As you get older, you know, feeling hungover feeling buzzed, feeling nauseous. It's not as fun. I think there's a place for it. It definitely helps younger adults learn how to socialize, and you know, it's just one of those things that can be abused. I'm surprised that there's so many laws and restrictions on things like marijuana and stuff. I don't smoke dope, but I'm surprised there's as many laws on that and so little laws on alcohol, because a lot more issues happen when people are drunk than when people are high. You know, you get drinking and driving accidents, abuse, you know, things like that. I don't want to get into it on YouTube, but there's a lot of issues with alcohol that you generally don't have on other substances. Again, I don't condone anything. I don't do anything, but you know, I'm surprised there's not more restrictions on alcohol. I have friends who drink and I still go to the bar and socialize. I drink iced tea instead. I'll DD for my friends when we're traveling, like when we're on vacation or something and we're hanging out. I'll do all the driving. And I still go out and stay out till 3 in the morning, and I still wake up feeling hungover because we didn't sleep. But otherwise, yeah. FYI, Yangling Lager is the oldest operating brewery in the United States of America. It's made in my hometown of Pennsylvania. Well, cheers to am I saying that right? Youngling? Cheers to Youngling. I might not drink it, but I wouldn't mind a sponsor, Youngling. Cheers. Or Bubbly, for that matter. Come on, Bubbly. Let's get that sponsorship going. We have been streaming for 207 minutes. That is probably our longest stream so far. We're over 3 hours. I had one longer one maybe where I was streaming for almost 7 hours when I was working in the barn. But yeah, cool. Right on. Let's keep working while we chat. I really need to figure out, so this side here, I said I was going to cut a 10-inch strip. So let's do that. Let's measure and cut a 10-inch strip. We'll mark it, we'll measure it, and then we'll cut it. Our handy dandy 2x4 level. I'm usually quite the perfectionist. When I used to do most of, like when I work on my house or I do renovations for other people's houses and stuff, I'm very, very precise and particular. I'm using stock blocks and clamps and guides, making sure everything is at perfect 90 degrees. But I've come to learn while working on barn builds, the ground is going to shift, they're going to twist and warp, things are going to happen if you're leaving stuff exposed to the elements. So there's no point spending all that extra time being super precise. Grab a relatively straight 2x4, use your pencil, free cut, get close enough. You're just wasting time otherwise. Again, different if you're doing finishing work in a house, but when you're just out here, there's no point going that crazy. Let me just take the extension cord here, whoop, drop you guys down, and let's just rip this cut quick. Okay. And then we're just going to hold this up to here. In fact, I think I put one screw in here, just to tack this here for a second so I can measure out. Actually, I could probably just do it. I need to overlap a little board here because that one doesn't quite go far enough. In fact, I could do it with this piece of scrap I got right here. Let's just hold this one up nice and tight. Hold this one over. And we want to overlap this so that there's no runoff or leakage here. So we'll just go to about there. Okay. We can transpose that line across with our speed square here. That is and how long does it need to be? That is pretty well. We want to go to. We want to go to there. Okay, we're just going to cut out this piece here out of this and put that on there. And Chad says, yes, same here. Try to make the best possible, and I tend to overdo it a little bit, but it lasts for a long time. Tommy says, random fact, Yangling is German for young man, and the founder came from Germany and settled in Pennsylvania and decided to make a beer and make it after himself. His last name was Yangling. That I don't think Yangling was German. That dude was straight Chinese. Mr. Yangling. Hello, how are you? I am from Germany. I think he was from China. And Tommy says, like I said, I'm not against alcohol. I still go to bars with my friends and socialize. I just don't drink. I drink iced tea or soda instead. I'm fine with that. I still have fun and I enjoy myself. Everyone needs a friend like you and I who's willing to take them to the bar, help them find their future wife, but not drink, so that we can keep them from getting slapped too many times. Let me cut this piece of wood. Let me cut some wood. There she goes. There she is. That one's just gonna overlap us like that. I think we're just gonna tuck that in there. Should I have made that bigger? I think I should have made that twice as big. What was I thinking? Why did I go to the inside? I put that to the inside, which was a ridiculous move. I need to make that like twice as big. What am I doing, guys? What am I doing? That was a bad decision. Okay. This piece is the piece I really want. Right there. That'll be better. And then this piece is going to go in right there. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put a sacrificial screw in there. We're going to do some stuff. But we need this extension cord because our battery is dying. 10 Sampy YouTube, how you doing, friend? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit. It has been a hot minute since we have had a conversation. I do remember you. And if I didn't, I still would say I do. But no, 10 Sampy, I do remember you. Just a Dude says, I don't like to be around intoxicated anymore. I avoid bar parties and most social gatherings. Tommy says, I'm logging off. Be good. Have a good day. See you later. Take care, Tommy. Thanks for sticking around. Chad says, my great-grandfather came in 15-something. He was German, and he came from South Carolina. My mom's side is Strunk. I don't remember. I don't know what Strunk is. What's Strunk? Strunkasian? 10 Sampai says, I had a lot of projects when I was gone. What kind of projects are we talking about? Right now, we're working on our chicken coop. Our semi-mobile chicken coop. Now I can hold this board in where I want it, which is right there. Okay, so this board's going to go right about there, at which point, can I get it from here? I can. If I put this one here, I'm going to mark it right there. And then down here, I need to mark it right here. I'm going to set that one down. We're going to hold this tight. There. Okay, those should be my cuts. That should do her. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this piece, cut a couple triangles off of that, and that should get her done. And 10 Senpai says, I was building a bunk bed for me and my little sister. Nice. I hope it turned out well. 10 Senpai, if you want to share, if you post that either on your YouTube, let me know and I'll check it out. Otherwise, if you want to share, you could go over to my Patreon. I have a free group chat where you should be able to post pictures. Tizian says DeWalt or Milwaukee. We're using a DeWalt right now, but I have both. The Milwaukee has more power. I actually prefer the Milwaukee over my DeWalts, but I have a lot of DeWalts. We're using right now a DeWalt drill and a DeWalt skill saw. My planer is also DeWalt. Just a dude says Bumblebee Brigade all the way, DeWalt. And 10 Senpai says, and I had soccer practice while I was building it. So couldn't really watch anything except movies. Bubbly, not a sponsor. One day, guys, one day. One day we can say that not ironically. I like watching Good Mythical Morning. It's a very family-friendly YouTube channel, Rhett and Link, and they do that all the time. They'll find a product that they enjoy, and they don't mind giving a shout out. They just let everyone know. Not a sponsor. Okay, we got to cut this the right size, so bear with me 1 second while we cut this. I got to engage my safety squints so I don't lose an eye. Let's not hit the steel bar. Where do I want to cut this? Maybe right like this. And don't mind my back. We'll see how well that fits in that spot. Is it this way or the other way? Definitely this way. I think that looks good. And my little top cap here. Kind of looks silly, but it is what it is. I'll put this one in right here. There we go. That's going to go right there. Oh, okay. Okay, let's get you guys plugged back in because we are like desperately low on battery. We're hovering around that 6 to 10%. Ugh. So we got to keep that charger plugged in. Strunk is German. Her last name. Ah, that guy was telling about German things, and I was just relating to the conversation. I gotcha. Okay, there we go. And charging activated, question mark? There we go, you're back charging. Okay, how do I like coffee? I love coffee. I drink probably too much coffee. I've only had 2 cups today, little cups, but I should get more. And Chad says, I use Makita. All good brands, all good brands. 10 Senpai says, right now it is 5:13 a.m. because I woke up from my dog that was standing on my forehead. I assume it's a small dog, otherwise you wouldn't be alive. What kind of dog do you have, friend? When I had my first dog, Daisy, I got her before I had kids. So as soon as my wife and I got pregnant, we decided to get a dog right away when we got married. And that way we thought, okay, that would give us like that first 9 months to a year to raise this puppy and teach it and train it and get it used to us before we had a kid and we were taking on more than we could chew kind of thing. And so it worked out perfect. Her name was Daisy. She was an awesome dog. Fun fact though, she was our child when we first had her. She was our only animal, our only pet, no kids. And so what ended up happening, we had never spent a day away from her for that first 10 months, 11 months. And then what happened was my wife needed to go out of town because that was the closest hospital, like an hour away. And so we had people house sitting and watching our dog. And we took off for like, they ended up keeping us in the hospital because there were some complications. They kept us in the hospital for like 5 days. So by the time we finally got back and we brought a baby home, Daisy had no idea what this creature was. She had never seen a baby before and why we weren't giving her all the attention. For about a week, she would sleep under the bed. She used to sleep on the bed between my legs. And then after that, she would just crawl under the bed and hide under the bed. She was scared of the baby and the noises. Now, after that first week, we were able to get her used to the baby and trained to the baby. And then she was an awesome family dog. Lily over here is just a natural. She's never given us any issues or grief. She's under the house. I was going to show you guys, but she just, actually, maybe I can drop you guys down and show you where Lily is. Lily, oh boy, we are zoomed in. Zoom out. Zoom out. There we go. Lily's hiding right down there. It's nice and cool down under the house. There she is. Hi, Lily. Hi, good girl. Hi, good girl. You keep the friends company for 1 second while I put a few screws in this. One more screw. There we go. That is feeling rather fox-proof at the moment. So, stand you guys back up. There we go. This nesting box is coming along. Look how pretty this is looking. It's all boxed in, roofed in here. So now I just need to put the bases in. So I'm going to cut little squares out, fill in the bases for the nesting boxes, and then build walls. And that way the chickens have their own little spaces. Yeah. I only have 3 nesting boxes that I built on this particular coop because I'm planning to build a second one. I've already got it started over here. And so I plan to build a second one. And that way I can separate my 29 chickens into 2 separate. There's some roosters in there too. So of laying hens, I think we have about, I want to say 18 hens. So once I divide them in half, I'll have 6 nesting boxes based on this design, but I might change that up for the next time. Who knows? Oh, the sawdust, man. I swear I'm not just picking my nose. I just got sawdust all up in my grill. I'm gonna be shooting out sawdust boogers later. And 10 Senpai says, it was a small puppy, but I don't know the breed, but it's fluffy. And Chad says, that's funny, 10 Sen, but it's 5 a.m. there. And 10 Senpai says, yeah, I know, I forgot to close my door before sleeping. Just the Dude says, my cats need to learn to stand up to the dog. She bullies them. My cats need to learn, oh, your dog is a she. And TLCB says, looking good. Thank you. It's coming along, man. We are getting there. We are getting there indeed. So now this closes. Better still close. Like I said, I'm gonna put one more hook latch on this side so it's nice and tight. We can't be letting any weasels or anything in there. So we're gonna do one latch on each corner. Because it's so long, I didn't want to put a latch in the middle. Go each side, and that way it's nice and secured. But that's progress, that's progress. And then I think for the door, like I said, I'm gonna cut a sheet of plywood here. I'm gonna use the metal meshing for the screen for the top half, 2 feet maybe, and then a 2-foot door that I can have on a handle that I can slide up, flip down latch to hold it up, let the chickens in and out, and then at night I can just let it down and there'll be mesh on the back side and the plywood down near the bottom. I think that's the plan. I think that's my plan. Thank you, Chad. It's coming along. We're making progress. We're making progress. And like I said, this will be nice and tight. So we got to finish out these nesting boxes. That's the next step. The next step is to work inside of here a little bit. Do some measuring and cutting. So I need to measure in and put in the bases. Just like 1 foot by 1 foot squares. So let's grab the measuring tape and confirm that. And are they all the same? I don't think they are. So that is, what are we? 12 and a quarter by 12. It's not perfectly square when I put this in here. About 12 and a quarter, and then I've got to measure from inside there. And 12. Okay, so 12 deep for sure. So I think I'm going to take this whole strip and just cut a 1 foot wide strip, and then we can adjust it from there. So let's just let's do that. Oh boy, where did I put my pencil? It's normally hiding in my ear. I put it down right here. Okay. So let me measure a 12-foot section that I can cut, and we'll go from there. We're just going to rip off 12 inches from here. Grab my handy dandy 2x4 level. Get this close. Is that my wife and kids? Wow, the family is back. Just because I like to keep the kids off the stream, let's face you guys away. Bear with me. Kermudge, how you doing? We are just out here building out the chicken coop. It's looking good. We got the metal roofing on. We got the nesting box done. Okay. Here, bear with me 1 second, guys. How do I do this? 1 second. I need to figure out. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys on a quick timeout just while I go see what my wife needs. Okay, so my wife is home and she wants me to hang out with her and the kids right now, which is what we like to do anyway. So I am going to say goodbye to you guys. I don't know if I'll be back on later or not. I do have to run into town and pick up some stuff. But I appreciate you guys all joining me here. This has been a good stream. And as always, take care, guys. And I will chat with you guys more later.